Hello and welcome everybody to the Degenerate Racing League. We are back for another week of racing in ACC. We move on to round 5 of our 6th season, and tonight we are at Watkins Glen. Have a quick look at the schedule. We've already been to Suzuka, Valencia, and Monza, which was our mystery track in round 3. Last week we were at Bathurst, and tonight, as mentioned, at Watkins Glen. Next week we'll have another mystery track where drivers won't know what's coming until an hour before race time. And then 2 races will follow with the Nürburgring and then Silverstone to wrap things up before we take a break for Season 7. Season is flying by. Now let's have a quick look at our standings after 4 rounds. One drop round in place. Having a look at our pro overall standings, our top 10 is as you see there. Cooper Atherton still leads the way with 141 points. Thiago Dinarte in second, taking his first victory last week at 136 points. And Dean Stefani with 105, rounding out the top 3 in pro. Over in our Pro-Am division, we have a bit of a shake-up with Albert Gania taking the overall lead for the Pro-Ams with back-to-back wins, securing another win at Bathurst last week. Artur Hermanis and Vladislav Mavic remain tied for 2nd and 3rd position as they look to see who can make the next step forward. Over in our AM division, Jay Pesa grabs another win of the season at Bathurst last week, leading the way with 147 points. Tyler Morgan in 2nd place with 136 points. And John Malott in 3rd place with 132. And over in our constructor standings, Greenlight Racing leads the way with 250 points, followed by Please Brake Turn 1, and Cup of TRV tied for second and third at 213 points. As always, a big thank you to everybody who supports us here at the DRL, whether that's through subscribing to us on Twitch or these lovely Patreon members who support us monthly. As always, a big thank you for the support here at the DRL. Keeps things going and running so that we can continue to offer the racing that we do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a few minutes left in practice. Drivers are on a dark and wet Watkins Glen track. This is a first for DRL. We've done lots of night races, we've done lots of wet races, but never have we combined the two. So this should be a good one. My name is Morgan Dano, and again joining me tonight, although with a bit of a cold, and we may not hear from him as much, Sam Bozak. Sam, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Another Tuesday brings us to ACC night, and like you said, to make it better, it's going to be cold, wet, and dark. So probably going to be an interesting race, and hopefully it's not too still.
Yeah, well, I think wet always makes for some exciting races. Usually shakes up the order. You've got some people who really know how to perform in the wet, and those that are dry track superstars maybe not in the position that they normally in. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this race shakes out, and then the dark adds just another element to it there. Some of the braking references are hard to see and such, so hopefully the racing is clean and tidy, and drivers are able to behave as the race gets underway, but then also provide some good action for us over the night. Alrighty, so last week at Bathurst, we had another exciting race. A lot of incidents, as one would expect for Bathurst, but we do have a new winner in our pro division. So Tiago Donarte, who has led the way for most of the races this season, was finally able to convert one into a victory. So congratulations to Donarte on that win last week at Bathurst. Sam, from what we've seen amongst drivers in our grid, who do you expect to shine in the wet conditions tonight? Who's a wet weather master that you?
Well, I don't know if it's just wet weather master, but he seems to be doing good in the dry as well. But I know Maverick has been proven to be okay in the wet, and I know Tyler Morgan is also someone that for some reason is exceedingly well in the wet, as you can see right now, just practice times. He's almost over a second and a half ahead of second place there, so definitely some contenders. And then in the pro division, I don't really think anyone stands out who already doesn't. I think everyone's their skill kind of just evenly translates to the wet.
Yeah, I agree there. I think if any one of the pros stands out for me, it's probably Neil. Neil does seem to show up to wet races and dominate. I remember the wet race at Kailami last year. Stopko couldn't hold him off. So we know Neil can show up in the wet conditions and simply challenge for the win every time he's there. Well, free practice is coming to an end, and drivers will make way for qualification as we wait for the last few drivers to finish up their practice laps, and quali will get underway.
Not too large of a grid tonight. We've only got 23 drivers right now, with maybe a few more expected for quali. Mostly a good mix of pros and pro-ams with the regular AMs.
Yeah, down a few numbers tonight. I think just the standings only show 23, Sam. I've got 25 registered in the lobby, so
Okay.
a couple more, but yeah, not into the 30s like we see on most race nights. I think maybe a good handful of drivers choosing to take the dark and wet round as their drop round. As we sit here watching the wipers go back and forth is quite comical.
Who's number 23 with the black car? Is that Fossman? For some reason, his Party Pickles doesn't show up.
Yeah, Fossman I think is using an old livery that is not loaded into Awesome Sim Racing. So that would be Don's fault.
Green light, show them what you got.
All right, our AM and Pro-Am drivers will make way out on track for qualification. And those drivers will get the first 10 minutes of quali to set their lap. As we see Team DNF 1 and 2 out of the pits. Tyler Morgan leading the way, Dr. Hermani right behind on this outlap. And
They seem to always get away first together.
yeah, I think those two gamed getting in the server nice and early today, so they got those coveted first couple of pit boxes and then last out of the pits. So I don't know if it's just on my side or it's on the stream as well, but I'm getting some pretty bad stuttering. I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
It is stuttering a little bit on the in the stream, but only minor. It's pretty good.
Got some last minute graphic setting files from Mr. Neil Kerbal, who said it would make night broadcasting a lot better. So I put those in place, but I didn't check anything else. I just threw it in and hoped it would work. But it might be potentially taxing my system a little bit with all the streaming and whatnot. But hopefully it won't. So yeah, drivers, as I was saying, pros and pro-ams and AMs out right now, and then in the second half of qualification, our pro drivers will take the track to set their best time.
Thank you for the follow, Revenge. Appreciate it.
Good evening, Cooper Bots. Alive and well they are.
Yeah, those graphic settings, because it's not actually that light out for the drivers right now. I think those graphic settings are definitely up.
Yeah, so just for broadcasting purposes, we've adjusted the in-game graphic settings just to show the racing a little bit better. If we ran with the same settings that drivers will see when they're racing, it's a lot darker and it's harder to see the cars. So this gives us a good medium. It shows that we're racing at night, but we can still see the racing. Camera jumps on board Mr. Tarugo. Mr. Tarugo rocking number 4 for Cyber Tunes this season. Teammates with Kevin Palaniuk. Has somebody hot on his tail actually coming off. I think that was Maverick. 74. I'm not sure if he was catching him and had to bail out, or may have been the case. So that's the other thing that's I think probably even trickier in the wet sand is that drivers have gotten pretty good at creating gaps to each other for qualification. So they don't catch each other. But they totally distracted. You got me, Doug. You just totally wrecked my train of thought to get Chris. Redemption. And I think I was saying, yeah, drivers drivers are pretty good at creating gaps for each other in qualification in the dry, but I think it's probably a lot more of a challenge in the wet. You're not really sure of what your competitor's pace is in the wet because we don't do a ton of wet races, maybe 1 or 2 a season. So
Would we, would we be able to get got a couple people saying our voices are very quiet compared to the game?
yes.
Sorry to cut you off. I just
No,
I don't
that's
think I don't know if they can hear us very well. Thank you, Cooperbot and Dog, for pointing that out.
Are we both quiet or just Sam quiet?
Testing, testing. I mean, I am talking a little quieter because I do not feel well, but yeah, is it me or is it Morgan? Albert, the fastest lap session so far by almost 3 tenths.
Yeah, Guinea definitely showed up this season, new to the DRL, and has really been impressing. He has taken 2 victories now. So a driver we obviously weren't familiar with before the start of the season, and obviously the rest of our grid wasn't, and he has come to show that he is here to win this thing. With 2 wins to his name already, he can put another one in there. He can take another pretty big step ahead of Arturs and Vladislav behind. Just as we say that, Arturs pumps in the fastest lap for the Pro-Am drivers with 154.7. We're gonna have a good battle on our hands here for our front runners in the Pro-Am category.
Looks like our mics sound a little bit better now.
Yeah, I just brought the game volume down a little bit, so hopefully our voices stand out a bit more. I also realized my microphone was out of position, so I was probably sounding quieter because of that. Zawatsky, we ride on board with 1.6 seconds down. Damien, another new driver to our grid this season.
Buggy Watt's still in the pits. I wonder if he is going to miss quali.
Our friend Buggy Watt earned enough penalty. Buggy Watt was the unfortunate recipient of too many penalty points, Sam. So qualification, he has to sit out.
You know what happens. You're playing to win, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. Looks like John Malott has set his time and called it a day in the pits there.
We have a second driver that will also be sitting out tonight in qualification. One in the pro driver, so the car number 33, Nagatsev. Also won't be participating in qualification and also has a pit lane start tonight as well.
Here you go. See if
you play hard, you race hard, and sometimes you push it over the limit and make our stewards upset.
You play hard, you race hard, and you get penalized even harder. So, it's just the way it rolls.
The way she rolls. We got a minute and a half left for our AM and Pro-Am drivers. Hermanny's still leading the way at 154.7. Tarugo has put his car into 3rd place, 5 tenths off the lead. Great lap by Tarugo. So Stanford having a little bit of a bobble there.
bus stop is scary in the rain. I mean, it's already tedious enough in the dry, and to add the dark and the rain, it's going to be interesting to see how many people make through it lap 1, because there's going to be a heavy amount of spray, as you can see.
Yeah, something that always makes it more challenging is the spray for sure. It's one thing to be hot lapping and not have anybody super close in front of you. But yeah, that's what I always found the most challenging racing in the rain, is when you're super close or in the middle of a pack. You have to put a lot of stress in the cars ahead and the cars behind.
It's almost easier to do at night because you can kind of just follow the brightness of the lights. But even then, like you said, you pretty much have to be in a group that is all proper braking and all doing the same thing, because all it takes is one person to brake late or brake early, and throw off the whole chain in that point. So, oh my god!
As we see Team DNF murder each other, I can't wait to hear the team comms for that one. I think that was wild. That was wild. I think they're getting out of the cars to throw punches. Is what's going to happen here.
I think both their laps were done. They crossed the finish line, I think, after the 10-minute mark, as now all the pros leave the pits to begin their lap.
Come on, camera. Let's see some action of our pro drivers. There we go. Camera focuses in on Don Donovan for Halftone Racing and the 333 Ferrari. As our drivers get all nice and bunched up towards the end of their outlap.
Yeah, Single Mom Denarte has technically, I mean, you can take a drop round, or your worst result will be removed. So essentially, if he's already had a worse result, and then this is going to be, is Denarte even in this race?
I don't see him in the list.
Technically, then yes, this would be his drop round, but it just takes whatever the worst round is for a race.
While we wait for these pro drivers to start setting lap times, we did have a little bit of change in order for our pro Ms and AMs as they finished up their quali session. So Albert Mia took P1, Vladislav Maverick took P2, and Archer Hermani took P3. So our 3 championship leaders are your top 3 qualifiers in the Pro Am category. So that's exciting to see. We'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the race. Tyler Morgan qualified as the top AM driver in P7 amongst that group. That'll obviously shuffle him down a bit further once our pros get going, but nonetheless, still a great time from Tyler. The next closest is John Mowat, sitting 2 spots back from Tyler. So Tyler's got a bit of a gap, and more importantly, a further gap back to Jay, who is leading the way in that group.
While you were talking there, I don't know if he got damaged or not, but it looks like Kyle took a little bit of a tumble into the wall there. I wonder if that's going to affect his quali or not. It looks like he's just going to keep going with it and hope for the best.
Kyle just completing his outlap now, it seems, or is he on a hot lap? He might be on a flyer.
Oh, if he was, it's invalidated because he just went off track into the wall. Unless he crossed the line right after.
Spencer Braun puts in a respectable 154.2. Put him in currently in P3. And as it is with the wet, we just expect these drivers just to keep going quicker and quicker as the tires warm up. And I'm not sure if the track's probably, it's raining pretty good. It doesn't look like the track's going to dry out at all. There won't be a dry line forming, but still, as you lap, fuel burns off. These tires get up to their temperature. It takes a couple laps in the wet. These guys will start putting in faster and faster times. Stefani crosses the line and puts in a 53.9.
Look at that, Guinea still sitting up at the front so far.
Yeah, very good time from Albert. I'm curious to see where he shakes out once all our pro drivers are done setting their lap times. It's a good chance you can still see him in the top 10. We actually have a good chunk of pro drivers missing tonight. There are not a lot of them on track right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10. Hop on board with Cooper Atherton, who's about to cross the line. So he improves. Slightly quicker, but Neil puts in a 153.3. Take the top spot. Spencer Braun improves again with a 53.8. Still a few tenths back from Albert's time. Runs to the start-finish line. He improves to second place with a 53.360, so 8 1/1000ths off of Neil's time. We've got a close battle for pole. Atherton duck out of the way to let Neil go by. Either invalidated and letting Neil go, or trying to catch a slipstream. Looks like he invalidated, so he's letting Neil through. Now he's backing off to build himself a bit of a gap. Comes through the final corner. Does not improve that lap. Couple drivers with times not as quick that lap, so could be a variety of things, could just be mistakes, but they're also, just with these wet conditions, the possibility that the rain has picked up, and it is possible for lap times too slow.
I don't know what it is, but obviously I was wrong, and it looks like Albert is a rain freak. As I'm watching the leaderboards here, he's still just sitting there in P3. So yeah, he's definitely going to be top 10, if not top 5 or podium, depending on what the others can do.
Yeah, he's got a really good time, and our pro drivers, for some of them, this is their last lap. I'm not sure how many of these guys are going to make it around for one more attempt, so this is an all-out push now here. These drivers are going to improve this lap, or that's where they will finish. As you see a advertising board go flying down the track. 35 seconds left in qualifying. We're going to see, as you see, a huge drift there. Here's the car in front of Daniel Hirsch. I'll pause it.
Kyle Hirsch, I believe. Yeah, Kyle Hirsch.
33 gets to the line. Looks like the 87 might be the last to get a lap in. 31 is not going to get to the line. Oh, as Don Donovan spins out. It's his quali done. Gania still sitting in third place. Darren Wicks crosses the line, takes the checker, and does not improve.
It's looking like the only person that's going to be able to take his spot is going to be either Daniel Hirsch or Stefani.
So we see Daniel Hirsch pull over and finish his lap. So that's it for Daniel. Still on track is Neil, Spencer, and Kyle Hirsch. And Kyle sitting way down the leaderboard. Not a place that we often see Kyle, so either hasn't been able to put together a good lap yet, or maybe just is not one with the rain.
He did hit the wall in the quali, so I don't know if he had damage or aero damage, which could have affected him. It didn't look like he went back to the pits, he just kept going, so that could be something to do with it as well. Nice view of Daniel Hirsch's car here while we see Gavin Cook come up to park.
Oh, that's it for Neil.
Man. Looks like Spencer's pushing for it.
A little sideways across the line. Does not improve, so comes to a stop.
Video with the P3.
For Kyle Hirsch, a little brush of the wall. He's pushing. And Kyle is not able to improve. P17. Well, I wonder if the track just fell away there a little bit at the end.
Right, we have some wet conditions. Watch out
We
for
weren't
curbs and
able to
exits.
see drivers improve at all. We'll get set up for a little track walk, a little grid walk. All right, well, let's have a look at where our drivers are placed before race gets underway. Taking pole position in the Ford Mustang, driving the 395, Neil Kerbel. Darren Wicks takes P2 for Greenlight Racing. Albert Gania, our top Pro-Am driver, sitting in P3 overall in the number 98 Ford Mustang. Dean Stefani for Greenlight Racing in the number 87, taking up P4. Spencer Braun in 5th place for Braun GP. Don Donovan for Halftone Racing in the 333 Ferrari, P6. Daniel Hirsch for RTC Racing in the number 48, taking P7. Nathan Henderson for Get Good Racing, driving the number 31 Aston Martin. Cooper Atherton down in 9th place for CrowdStrike Racing, driving the number 77 McLaren. Vladislav Mavic for Cup of Tea Racing, driving the number 74 Bentley in P10. Archer Hermani for Team DNF in the number 44. Gav Cook in 12th place for Team Shake and Bake, driving the number 69. Mr. Tarugo for Cyber Tunes in the number sitting in P13, driving the number 8 Porsche. Love that livery. Iqbal Kurniawan driving the 696 AMR, driving for Psychopath E-Racing Academy, sitting in P14. Damian Zatwoski, P15, driving the Porsche. Tyler Morgan for Team DNF, driving the number 72 AMR in P16. Kyle Hirsch with a fancy new livery this week, also driving for RTC Racing, the number 21, sitting in P17. Wes Romery, driving for Halftone Racing in the 444 Ferrari. Bradley Cooper back this week, sitting in P19 for Monster Torque, driving the number 91. John Malott driving for Zilla in the number 85 Nissan in P20. Jay Pacer with JP and Samantha Tan Racing, driving the number 135 McLaren, sitting in P21. Russell Stanford for Cup of Tea 3, driving the number 20 Bentley in P22. Alan Leung for 9PM Racers in P23. Don Fossman of the Party Pickles, driving the number 11. And Buggy Watt for Zilla Red Bull, driving the number 410. And Daniel Negasev, driving the number 33 for Pino Farina Racing. And that is our grid.
Both Red Bulls in the very back. Ironic. This could be a danger.
Red Bulls at the back. Gonna take a quick step away, Sam. I'll be right back for race start.
You bet. Alright, now that you're left with the one and only and the favorite of the two for most, let's go over some historical and real world fun facts. Can anyone guess when this track opened? Of course you can't. Why would you be able to guess that? But it opened in 1956, and that's that. 1956. Moving on. From 1961 to 1980, you guessed it. Of course you didn't guess it, because why would you guess this? It hosted Formula One. So, very interesting. Also, some multi-discipline venues are raced here: NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and Sports Car Endurance. And there is a real-world Watkins Glen 6 hours of racing, which is typically a wet weather chaotic classic. 5 seconds to the race start here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the track history, Sam. I came back to listening to some facts about Watkins I didn't know. I had to go get myself a nice beverage for this race start. Drivers make their way now on their formation lap. DRL, we do full formation lap, so drivers will make their way all the way around the track before we take the green flag.
Well, being in the dark, being in the wet, I really don't think we're going to see. Once again, like what we say, and one of the main opportunities is going to be on the back straight and turn one for taking chances. So it's pretty much going to be a game of who can get the best exit on the straight and make some moves there.
Yeah, absolutely. The race start here. It should go pretty well. The nice thing about Watkins Glen is that run down to turn one isn't very long, and it also has that big runoff on the left side of the track, right? So, if drivers make mistakes or there's cars sliding where they're not supposed to be sliding, there is room to run wide there. What'll be key to watch, though, is if that does happen, is if drivers are able to come back on track in a safe manner and not take out another car coming through.
night of no tire changes. Hey, just use those wet tires. Mostly one set for the race.
Yeah, so it's just a reminder for our viewers, one mandatory pit stop required. Drivers only need to take fuel, tires are optional. That's a great question, Sam. I'm not quite sure how wet tires do. I assume they probably hang on just fine and there would be no reason to change. Yeah, it seems to be the best strategy for the length of races that we run. Usually quicker to forego the tires and just take them.
Drivers are doubling up now.
On the corner they come as they approach the start-finish line.
Green light, go.
Green flag and drivers are off. Darren Wicks gets a great jump off the start. Already ahead heading into turn 1, but Neil does have the inside line. Dips back in, holds a position. Drivers look like they're all doing pretty well. Oh, we've got a bump between the Hirsch brothers, it looks like. And we have one of those, yeah, Bentleys. Everybody seemingly getting away okay. Oh, as we have somebody into the wall there. Didn't quite see who. Oh, and a couple spinning off. Oh, it is a mess. Absolute chaos. I think there's probably 10 cars involved.
Where did the rest of the cars go?
Oh my goodness, Sam. That might be the biggest pileup in DRL history.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure who or what started, but I'm going to take a quick look at a replay because we will lose them if we don't. So I know we still have drivers making their way around track on this opening lap. Let's see if we can see what happened.
When drivers are side by side like that, I mean the spray, it's just a pile up. It's just you're all dead.
So everybody got through turn 1 pretty good. It all started at turn 2 here, heading up the hill. Oh, somebody sideways into somebody else. Oh, and it just, yeah, chain reaction effect. Nowhere for anybody to go. Oh, dear. Wow. Okay. Well, the stewards are going to have some work to do with that one. As we get back into race action, obviously things have calmed down. I'm just looking at the track map now. Everybody's sort of kind of moving along okay now. Not sure who's going to have damage from that or how bad, but I know some cars took some pretty heavy hits there. So right on board with Gavin Cook, who has made up a few spots due to that early lap carnage. He's up to P9. Neil Kerbal has a great opening lap and immediately sets a 2-second get back to Darren Wicks. So as expected, Neil showing his wet weather skill.
Wow, that was a shake up where Bucky Watt is.
Oh, and look at the windshield of Bradley Cooper. That car has been hit hard.
That is a pushed up hood and a broken windshield.
So not only is his windshield broken, he's having to deal with intense rain and spray. Oh, is he still dealing with damage? He has another brush with the wall.
A little too much torque in the GTR for Monster Torque, and it looks like he is going to be calling it a day today.
Hello, Alex Hansen. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Alex just signed up to race in the DRL for future races, so look forward to having him on track starting next week.
Welcome, Alex. Is that the Trackalicious.
Yes, Alex is another friend from Trackalicious. I believe he's a steward over there, and is probably thankful he is not stewarding this race.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to look at. Just start piling up and that fault. That match is looks like you just let that
No, I believe that's a lap down car. Oh no, that is that's Stefani. Sorry, so he let Stefani by. Yeah, it looked like he's just stepped out of the way. Maybe it was just not his race and choosing to let him by. Let's have a quick look at our class leaders. So Neil Kerbal leading the way for our pro drivers. Gania still hanging on to the lead for the Pro-Am drivers, and he's got a good gap back to the car P2 in his class, which is actually being held by Kearney Alwan. In P3 for the Pro-Ams is Maverick. Our lead AM driver is Tyler Morgan. Tyler seemingly got through the opening lap chaos okay, as he's actually up to a net P12 total in the race. So Tyler, he can keep it clean from here on out, is in a good position to take another AM win. As Buggy Watt holds on to P2 for the AM drivers, and P18 and Don Fossman of the Party Pickles, trying to get his first race to the checker flag this season. Don Fossman been away for a couple and DNF'd in another. Don sitting in a podium position for the AM drivers. As we look at a battle between Kearney Alwan and I believe that is Vladislav Maverick, or P8. Like Maverick got by on that lap. Now has a bit of breathing room up to Cooper Atherton in P7.
Is that after the bus stop? Oh, no, that was turn. We got like piled up. Wherever it was a big one. Looks like everyone is just kind of finding their place in the wet. That's usually happens with the wet races. It's not as easy to just make a risky move. Set pass them.
Kearney Alwan still tight on Vladislav Maverick. This is our closest battle on track right now. Gav Cook not too far behind in P10. Hoping that these two maybe get in a little mixed up and is able to jump on an opportunity should it present itself. Just noticing that Tyler Morgan has hopped into the pits already, Sam. So our leading AM driver trying that strategy again, it seems like, of boxing early and coming out and just having the whole track to himself. Looking at the track map, he is out there all by himself.
Yeah, he is.
As we see Spencer Braun go past Albert Gania to take P4. He made the long run up the hill into the bus stop.
And
that's exactly what you gotta do it.
Spencer Brown not too far off Dean Stefani. So this is another close battle we have on track. Spencer driving the Skittle Bar Porsche, number 7. Hugo's negative hot on his tail, trying to make a move around the outside. That's never going to work in the wet. Hugo holds on to P14 as they make their run up the hill. Next has a look down the inside. No room there. Oh, but Taruga runs a little deep, a little wide. Oh, they need to come together. Like I said, gets around Taruga to move up to P14.
New door going in, but other than that, it's
Yeah, no one harmed in that overtake there. It's a matter of one car going a little wide and coming back behind a car right next to it. Kyle Hirsch and Jay Pesa have also completed their mandatory pit stops, so a few other drivers electing to pit early. The rest of the field is still yet to stop.
one moment, be right back.
Albert Guionia still hot on the back of Spencer Braun. So Albert showing he truly does have the pace in the wet and is able to hang with most of our pro drivers here. No curses yet today, Alex. Commentator's curse not paid off so far to anyone in particular. We have mentioned a few names, so there is still time. Pit window is open, something we do run here at the DRL. Drivers have a 35-minute window in the middle of the race in which to complete their mandatory stop. Drivers have 28 minutes left on that timer, as you can see at the top of the screen. Albert real close on Spencer now. Looks like he's going to get along inside as these two head up the hill. Tucks back in and thinks better of a move through the bus stop. Apologies for the graphical issues, friends. I did not have time to test these wonderful night settings from Neil before the racing. Cameras glued to these two drivers as this is our closest battle on track. Like Iqbal Kurniawan has Gavin Cook getting a little bit closer. Close enough to form any kind of move or have a look for a position change. And as we ride on board with Gavin Cook, we actually see Arthur Hermani getting a little bit closer to this battle as well. So that could be something we look forward to in a little bit. See if anything shapes up from that. Back on board the rear wing of Spencer Braun of Braun GP. Spencer doing everything he can to hold off the charging Ford Mustang of Guinea. Ford Mustang known for its incredible straight line speed.
Looks like I'm returning to some action.
Yeah, we got a couple close battles on track. One between Spencer and Albert, and then we just jumped on board here as Arthur Hermani is starting to close the gap on Cook and Kearney Allen ahead. Speaking of Arthur Hermani, one of our drivers in our spotlight tonight, Sam.
Sure is.
I guess we should run into that. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Well, one of this week's spotlight goes to the Latvian sensation himself, the man who wakes up at 4 a.m. just to give us heart attacks during unsafe rejoins. It's Arthur Hermani.
Arthurs is originally from Latvia, lives in Sweden, and for some reason decided that racing with a bunch of North Americans in the middle of the night was a good idea. Either this guy really loves DRL, or he just hates sleep.
We're not saying Arthur's races like he's fresh out of bed, but sometimes his on-track decisions definitely have that just woke up and hit the wrong button energy. We'll just say last race's rejoin wasn't exactly textbook.
But hey, when Arthurs gets it right, he really gets it right. Like race 1 in Suzuka, where he put together a flawless drive and took the win. Just clean, fast, surgical. We're still not sure it was him.
He's usually right at the top of the Pro-Am charts in quality. Super strong single lap pace. But come race time, it's a bit of a dice roll. Sometimes it's P2, sometimes it's a steward review waiting to happen.
Speaking of which, Arthurs is a steward, and he's not afraid to hand out penalties like they're Halloween candy. Good thing he doesn't get to review his own incidents, or the appeal inbox would explode.
Also worth noting, the man's got DRL March. Plural. He and Vlad are basically walking billboards at this point. If they ever do a team up, I expect a custom livery with discount codes.
Look, we roast because we love. Arthurs brings fire, unpredictability, and a whole lot of commitment. He might be racing at 4 a.m., but he still shows up with more pace and passion than half the grid.
Just please, for the love of turn exits, check your mirrors on rejoins. We need our sleep more than you do. And that is our first driver highlight of the night, Arthur Hermani.
One and only.
The one and only Latvian sensation. Ride on board now with Gav Cook, looking back at Arthurs. Now, starting to fall back from Kurniawan a little bit.
I think Neil's just slowly pulling away into a Sunday drive in the rain.
Neil is starting to walk away with it, yeah. A good 10-second back is Darren Wicks in P2. And he's starting to build a bit of a lead over Stefani. Spencer Braun's still in touch with Stefani, but hasn't been able to bring that gap down below a second. As I say that, he brings it down to a second. Whoa, and a big old tank slapper for Gavin as he touches some grass. Looking real squirrely now as Hermani's starting to have a look. Not able to get a move in there. Thanks for the shake and bake, Sean Ches. Sean Ches, why aren't you racing tonight? He's afraid of the dark.
Back is broken.
That's what they all say.
There's only so much time in the world, and his time must be spent on trophy truck racing.
This battle for P10 is really starting to heat up now. We got 3 cars, all of them Aston Martins, line astern here. Kearney Awan leading the way. Gav Cook running in the middle. And Arthur Hermani waiting for an opportunity. He has another look up the inside there. Doesn't quite get the exit the other two do. Gav actually looks like he might have a good run on Kearney Awan here up to the bus stop. So looks left, looks right. Showing like he's going to have a look down the inside. He is alongside. Will he hold it? Oh, late on the brakes. Gavin gets the car slowed down and takes the spot. Oh, as we watch Arthur Hermani go off in the background. Obviously surprised and caught off by the brilliant overtake by Gavin Cook. Arthur's caught in awe of a wonderful move by Gavin. I said we would bring Spencer Braun in on this race to try to distract him while driving. Do you want to pop in to this channel and let him know we're going to bring him in here for a little mid-race interview?
Why, yes, I do. Give me one moment. So, Spencer is not ready right now, and he said do not take him because he is on the hunt and he does not want us to distract him.
What a loser. That's exactly why I wanted to bring him over right now, because he is hot on the tail of Stefani.
Left. But we'll let him...
Should have pulled him at it.
Probably already threw him off his game.
Probably pull him anyways.
Yeah,
we could be mean. We won't do that.
We'll wait till a mistake happens or a pass happens, and then we'll distract him so then he gets back ahead.
If he was a true racing driver, he'd be able to do both at the same time.
We're not all the best.
Nope, some of us hit Control C and Control V. As the cameraman jumps on board, that rear wing of Stefani looking back at Mr. Braun. Stefani now coming up on what I believe is the lap traffic of Kyle Hirsch. We'll see if this plays into any position changes. Kyle's still far enough ahead that he won't be getting blue flags just yet. Sanchez says we should give Spencer the commentator's curse for denying our mid-race interview request.
let everyone know right now that this is me putting a wiggly wiggly doo curse onto Spencer. And
Oh, as we see him get sideways out of the bus stop. So it's working.
he is going to crash into the wall in approximately 45 seconds. So if any of you want to count down or count it in your head, about 45 seconds, we will see the pink Skittles Porsche headed into the wall. Can you imagine if he spun out when I said that? Like, you see the spoiler of Green Light Racing, the Porsche peeking through the mist.
Producer seems to really be enjoying this camera angle of Dean Stefani. It really is curious to see how this shapes out. Dean now making defensive shapes with Spencer Braun hot on his tail. Spencer has a look down the inside. Not going to do it into turn one. See Spencer have a little wiggle getting back on power out of turn one. He's going to lose that little bit of grip running up to Stefani through the uphill towards the bus stop. Spencer not only has looking ahead to try to get this spot, but now he's got Gania right in that rearview mirror again, and that Mustang is flying up the hill. Oh, as Spencer goes a bit deep, makes a mistake through the grass, manages to keep Gania behind, but now has lost touch with Stefani and seems to be struggling now for grip. You can see Gania in the rearview mirror having a real good look as Gania gets sideways.
Looks like Ron is gets the curse. He's fighting back.
Doing everything in his power to keep that Porsche in control. The challenging thing about driving this Porsche in the rain is it's just got so much weight in the rear that once it does start to go on you, it's really hard to hang on to in the wet. Dives off into the pits to complete his pit stop, trying to see if maybe an undercut will work to get past Stefani. Scania now has a bit of breathing room to see if he can make a charge towards Stefani and close down that gap. Spencer Braun exits the pits and looks to come out in a pretty good spot looking at the track map. So his pit timing strategy has worked out. He's got a bit of time before he catches Gavin. Right on board with Kyle Hirsch, who has completed his stop, making his way around the track. One of the drivers, I think, that was tangled in the early lap 1 collision. So we ride on board with Hermani now trying to chase down Perniawan. Archers has recovered slightly. Oh, as Archers has a look down the inside. I'm not sure if they came together, maybe did. as Archer's backs out, gives the position back, and he will have to try again somewhere else. Just not seemingly able to find a way around Carniawan to take that P9 position. Archer really keen to get that position to try to reduce the potential gap spread to the two ahead of him in Vladislav Maverick and Albert Nia, in that those three are fighting for the overall in the Pro-Am Championship. Oh, we have Tarugo in the chat, which means his race has come to an end. We didn't see what happened, Tarugo. Sorry to hear that your night is done.
What happened, Tarugo? Did you bite it or did you get bit?
Right on board with Don Fossman and the Party Pickles.
Ghost pickle, I like it.
Ghost Pickle, the Stealth Pickle.
Catch Neil, which I don't think is ever going to happen at this rate. 17 seconds ahead now. Neil is just he's in his own race. Oh, that's too bad, Tarugo.
Right on board with Neil Kerbal, who is making his way through lap traffic with a very commanding 15-second lead over the rest of the field. As he approaches Buggy Watt, lets him through. Speaking of Mr. Kerbal, our second driver highlight of the night, Sam.
It's fitting for where he is right now. Well, let's get right into it while we're on board with the Sunday driver himself. This week's highlight is a DRL legend, a former champion, possibly It's Neil, Cab, Frank, and Katz.
Neil's not just fast, he's championship fast. He won it all back in Season 3, and he's been a constant threat at the front ever since. The only thing quicker than his lap times is how fast he loses his mind at Bathurst.
Yeah, that track is cursed for him. 2 seasons in a row he was taken out by back markers, and last week, no one to blame, just Kirby versus the wall. And spoiler alert, the wall won.
We're not saying it was a commentator's curse, but we are saying it happened after we mentioned his name. Do we take zero responsibility for that? Absolutely none.
And he's not launching himself into Australian mountainsides. Neil's busy doing two things: dropping wine terms no one understands, and being a genuinely awesome human in the DRL community.
Seriously, what the hell is a Grenache or a Petite Syrah? Neil talks about wine like he's broadcasting from a vineyard, surrounded by sommeliers and stray cats.
Speaking of which, he owns an unknown number of cats, possibly double digits. Sometimes they even make cameo appearances over his mic. Full meows, zero apologies.
But beyond the chaos in Cabernet, Neil's one of the most helpful and community-minded folks in DRL. Whether it's mentoring on racecraft, or organizing fun runs, or just being a chill voice in voice chat, this guy shows up.
And speaking of showing up, you better show up to the massive Suzuka birthday race Neil's putting on for our favorite loudmouth, Tyler Morgan. We're aiming for 100 plus drivers on the grid, and Tyler has to commentate all of it. It's going to be glorious mayhem.
You can find the sign-up link in our Discord or in Trackalicious' Discord. Do it for Neil. Do it for Tyler. Do it for the cats. Just don't do it in a wine-fueled haze at Bathurst.
This is our second driver highlight of the day. Just to reiterate what we just said at the end there. We are having a fun race, which will have, like we said, hopefully 100 drivers at least, for Tyler Morgan's birthday race, and you're going to be able to drive whatever car you want, GT4, Porsche Cup, GT3, whatever you want, and it's just going to be crazy mayhem, so hopefully a lot of fun. So check out the Discord where you can find the SimGrid link, and have some fun. But back to Neil. Yeah, Neil has been around for quite a long time now in DRL, and very helpful, and one of the most interesting. Thanks for being around, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. Neil absolutely walking away with this one tonight, as not a surprise to those of us who have raced with Neil in the wet. An absolute wet weather monster. Having a great race, Neil. It's awesome. And yeah, as Sam said, that race should be fun. Sam and I should be in attendance. I don't know what I'm going to drive. Do you know what you're going to drive, Sam? I mean, I signed up with the car, but I don't know if I'm going to stick with it.
Probably Porsche Cup.
Yeah, I was thinking Porsche Cup too.
It just seems it's the most challenging, which in races like that makes it really fun. So yeah, I think Porsche Cup. I mean, GT4 would be pretty scary depending on the grid size. If there's a lot of faster cars that are ripping by you that you're having to dodge, but then vice versa, it's going to be scary dodging cars as well. So I think anything is going to be kind of scary, but I think Porsche Cup would be, at least for what I know, what we like, I think the most fun.
Yeah, that should be good. I mean, man, there's even going to be cars. The M2 is allowed too. So talk about slow cars on track with fast cars on track. That's not a combination I'm interested in seeing.
Neil Kerbel will probably drive the M2 or GT4.
Yeah, he's a big GT4 guy, so that's what I would expect to see him in. But, you know, for those who don't know, Suzuka in ACC has over 100 pit boxes that are available. So that's why we picked Suzuka, because we can actually get over 100 drivers on track. So we just need everybody to sign up. That's the point of this. Go sign up for Tyler's birthday bash race. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't need to practice. In fact, don't practice, because it'll be even better.
Apparently, I believe that's Palanick. Grenache is the type of wine everyone is missing out on. That's what he says.
Haha, another wine connoisseur, Mr.
I looked it
Palanick.
up. It's a type of grape. The first link says, is Grenache the versatile powerhouse of the wine world? Sounds,
There you
sounds
go.
interesting.
I don't even like red wine. So there you go. I'm not missing out on it, Kevin.
Well, we're into the point of the race now where drivers definitely needing to get their mandatory pit stops in. Got a minute and 20 seconds left to do so. Dean Stefani has still yet to stop, and that is who Spencer Brown was trying to undercut. So we still have to wait to see when Stefani comes out what Spencer was able to do with that track position.
Honestly, Cooper, probably maybe top 5 Coopers of all time. I mean, unless he gets like top 5 at this race, I don't know. No, Cooper's top 3 Coopers for sure. Who's the other 2?
Yeah, I don't know many Coopers, man. Maybe there are only 3. Dean Stefani better get his pit stop done here. I don't know that he's gonna, Sam. He's coming around right now.
Not.
He's got
Oh wait,
3 seconds. I don't think he's gonna do it.
Getting in.
Window is closing
He's
down.
not.
You're done.
No, Dean Stefani misses his pit window. This will not count. I believe you have to complete your stop before the timer runs out. It's not getting into pit lane.
Yeah.
So Dean Stefani
tough.
is gonna take a big slap on the wrist for that one. Very unfortunate. He was close. He just pushed it 1 lap too many, unfortunately. Oh, we could be wrong, Sam. Maybe it is the pit lane because I'm showing that he has met his pit requirement. So holy smokes, that was close.
Oh, that was by like what, maybe 2-3 seconds?
Yeah, I think he crossed that pit entry line with maybe 1 to 2 seconds left on the pit window timer. Where did Dean Stefani come out on track? Ah, that is Mr.
Right
Braun
there,
behind
Spencer.
him. So the undercut did not work for Mr. Braun. Dean
Honestly, I
Stefani.
think Mr. Braun is able to come into the chat now. We can talk about how his undercut has been unsuccessful.
I'm actually not interested in talking to him anymore. He had his opportunity. Chose to be a loser. Just kidding, Spencer.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, there's 3 minutes left in the race, so we'll just let it play out.
Well, it looks like Tyler Morgan's holding on to the AM lead. Looks like Shuey number 2 is going to be incoming.
It's going to be a happy Mr. Morgan. Kania with a very commanding win again this week for the Pro-Am drivers. Nobody could even get up there to challenge him. Vladislav in P2 for the Pro-Ams, a solid 15 seconds back. I don't know, maybe more from Albert. So Albert's showing that he has got some wet weather pace.
Yeah, no doubt he is. Let alone the Pro-Ams, he's ahead most of the pros. Top 5 so far, so hopefully we see him finish there.
As we've got a couple minutes left in this race, probably time. Where's Neil on track? Time for probably one more. Oh, Spencer
is
and
on.
Stefani. Oh, Dean has a little touch of the wall there. That's going to give Spencer a good run all the way up the hill. Spencer is forced to the outside though, so Dean protecting the inside. Spencer dives in behind through the bus stop and has maybe one more lap to get the job done. Dean may be having a little bit of trouble getting those tires back up to temperature after his stop. Spencer's will be well up to temp after completing his stop quite a few laps earlier. Probably only going to get one more lap here, Sam, as Neil is only now just approaching the final corner. Having a pretty quiet drive at this point, out on track, not many around him.
Final lap now. Give it all you can.
As Neil takes the line for the white flag to indicate the final lap. Don Donovan having a good race this week. He's in P6th. We haven't seen much camera time for Don. Don Donovan unfortunately flagged by a few technical issues over the last few races. It seems everything is in good working order this week. I see Romery dive into the pits. I'm not sure what for. 1 lap to go. Maybe not enough fuel. Jump back on board with this battle between Stefani and Braun on the final lap. Spencer doing everything he can to try to get that final podium position of the night. Now approaching Daniel Hirsch, who will be a blue flag. But we are on the final lap, so they will not be seen. That is right. So no blue flags on the last lap.
Crazy last 3 corners.
The leader has finished the race.
As Neil Kerbo crosses the line for P1. Congratulations, Neil.
That's the way the order is going to stay.
Stefani is going to be able to hold off Spencer Braun, and Spencer gets very sideways into the last corner. Oh, and hangs onto it. Spencer doing everything to try to give away P4 at the end of the race. Darren Wicks in P2. Don Donovan crosses the line for P6. Cooper Atherton takes P7. Coming home in 8th place is Gavin Cook. As he rounds the final corner. Vladislav Maverick is going to take the checkered flag for P9. And Don Fossman pile drives into the wall to take P3 as our AM driver. Artur Hermani crosses the line to take 10th spot, rounding out our top 10. Couple more drivers still trundling around the track to finish the race. Wes Romery, who seemingly ran out of fuel, or almost ran out of fuel on that last lap, making his way to the checkered flag. Well, look who's sitting in the green room, Sam.
You Spencer Braun.
We'll grab him in here in a couple minutes. Let's see Russ finish the race. We'll take a super quick intermission here so I can get the replay going, and then we'll bring Mr. Braun and anybody else in for an interview. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. Let's get Mr. Spencer Braun in here, and then we'll get some of our other friends waiting in the green room. Spencer Braun.
Hello. Hey, sorry. I don't know. You tried to pull me in. You tried to pull me in mid-race, but it was pretty sketchy.
We sure did, and we did everything in our power to give you a commentator's curse for avoiding us. It didn't work.
Yeah. I'm like an orange cat. I only have so many brain cells, and I was so close to Stefani that had I talked to you, I would have killed both Stefani and I. So I had to pick one.
We know that was our plan. We saw how close you were getting. We're like, now's a great time to bring Spencer in for a race interview.
Evil. You guys are evil.
Yeah, well, that's how we roll. Anyways, aside from it looks like you were glued to Stefani the whole race. Tell us about your race, how it went.
It was really, really good. I normally don't do so well in the rain, and I am very happy with how that went. I made very few mistakes. I don't know, I just seemed to get along really well on this time, and I really didn't expect to be so up the leaderboard. I mean, I've been qualifying so poorly all season, like basically at the bottom of the pros, and I've been getting a lot of luck through attrition and penalty points, so I'm doing well in the point standings, but like my finishes haven't been great, so I'm really happy about this, regardless of that battle with Stefani.
Yeah, it was a great drive. I mean, at the end of the day, you still finished the race in P4, which I think is up there with some of your highest finishes so far this season. So, excellent drive. We did notice you dipped into the pits a bit early this race. Was that an attempt to undercut Stefani, or was that your plan the whole time?
Yeah, correct. He wasn't holding me up. We were pretty much lap for lap, and my goal was to... I really just didn't want to stare at the back of his car any longer, really. And I was hoping that if I hit it a little early, it would give me a little bit of breathing room to settle back in early instead of coming like a slash and dash and then try to get back on pace. And it almost worked because he came out and hit immediate traffic. And then there was all sorts of chaos. And then, we couldn't get it done. I couldn't get the pass done. It was really close. We went side by side up the corner too for the last lap, and I'm glad nobody died. So.
Yeah. Well, we saw him, and we wondered on the stream and I'll ask you because you did it. But after your pit stop, did it take a bit for the tires to come back up to temperature? Because it seemed like after he came back out, he had a bit of a gap on you, but you closed it really quick, and we wondered if he was just struggling with cold tires.
Yes, actually, surprisingly, even I think my pit stop was 6 seconds, and I was a little surprised at how it still took a lap and a half to get them to kind of hook up again. And with the Porsche, it understeers when you get low fuel, and that last lap, I could not get the car to turn in. because of the low fuel over the steering wheels. So I honestly wish I'd given myself a little more gas, because this in the rain, the gas isn't such a big factor.
Yeah, and in fact, in some ways, it almost helps with the grip, right? Especially in the Porsche. We also saw the super quick and speedy Pro-Am driver of Albert Guinea filling up your rear view for much of that race as well.
Where did he come from?
Yeah, Albert.
What a drive.
He's won 2 Pro-Am races now, and he apparently in the wet is an absolute machine. To put it on, what did he put it? P6, like P3 or P4, whatever he put it on in qualifying on the whole grid. So yeah, very impressive by Albert.
Yeah, absolutely, and total class act, because he let Stefani go, and I thought that was interesting, like on lap 2 or so, somewhere in there, maybe lap 3, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe he's feeling like he's holding up Stefani, and then I caught him and he let me go, and then I started making all sorts of mistakes, and he came right up the rear, and he could have passed me, but he let me keep it, which is good, because then I settled back in and then was able to put some time on it. But what a classy driver, that guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's races within the race, right? And I think being in a different class, he was just looking out for his points in his division. Probably, like you say, not only classy but also very smart on his part to not risk getting tangled up trying to hold up a pro driver's.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know if I would have made those same decisions. I probably learned from him in the States.
Oh, there you go. All right, Mr. Brown, we'll let you get back to hanging out with the boys in voice chat, and we're going to bring in Mr. Morgan for his interview.
Yeah, sorry again for the cold shoulder, but I'm happy to chat with you now, so thanks so much.
Yeah, all good, man. Great race.
Bye, guys.
Mr. Tyler Morgan.
Hello.
That's another W. 2 in 1 season.
Yeah, that's definitely a record, at least in my personal record books.
So do we get another shoey?
No, absolutely not. Not unless I somehow miraculously win the damn championship. But I needed that. I needed the win this week to stay involved in that. So I'm kind of glad that I got that win. Jay also didn't have a good race.
Absolutely. Well, I was just gonna say, not only will a win help close the points there, it's going to be very tight. I'm curious to see what those points look like once everything's all calculated after stewards have done their jobs, because you're right. Yeah, you took the win, and your 2 other competitors challenging for the championship did not have the best races for them tonight.
I almost got caught in that one. What the heck? That was lap 1.
Wait till you watch the stream or go back and look at the replay. That was the most insane lap 1 crash that I think we've ever seen in DRL. Sam and I were at a loss for words.
Donovan honestly has the greatest POV of it, because he's in the back and he's just steering through the chaos. He almost made it out alive, but he died.
It was wild. Like half the grid actually got caught up in that. Yeah, that was something special. But so Tyler, tell us. I mean, how was your race? We saw again that you again pulled the strategy that you did for your other win, where you pitted early, and it looks like you just got to hot lap with nobody around for quite a while.
Especially on the wet, that's crucial to get out of the sprays. I'm able to see a lot more clearly. My plan was to actually go long. I had 70 liters of fuel packed into my car. My plan was to go long, but the instant lap 1 gave me 14 seconds damage. So I just was like, okay, well, I'll go back to old reliable again, and hopefully it works. And hopefully it worked out tonight. Can't complain. And I'm hoping that the mystery track is something good. I got to put together that AM championship.
Yeah, I mean we're down to 3 races left. I mean, for what when we start these seasons seems like they're going to be, you know, a long 8 weeks. It's crazy to think that we've got 3 to go.
Jay's got 2, I got 2, Malot's got 1. If Malot wins the next race, it's just going to be on deck. I continue my streak of finishing closing though, which in the AM, that's not saying much because I'm about to see the race currently, but the streak is still a streak no matter what you look at it. I hopefully will continue it on the mystery truck next week.
Yeah, well, and I mean, at the end of the day, every point matters, right, Tyler? So even if you're not winning, you're wanting to finish as high up as you can because it's going to help you overall. So.
Yep.
Well, Tyler, thanks for your time. We'll let you get back with the boys and chat about the race. And yeah, congratulations again on another victory in AM.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
See you, Tyler. And thank you everybody who has tuned in and watched along. Congratulations to our winner, Neil, taking the win for our pro category. Albert Gania taking the very commanding win for our pro-ams. And Tyler Morgan, who we just chatted with. Congratulations again on winning our AM class. That's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thanks again for tuning in with us. Join us again next Tuesday. Same time, and we will do it again, but we won't know the track until we go live. Have a good night.